Hello everyone, this is Hio, and today I'll be continuing the Daedra Explained series, and I'll be explaining the Huntsman of the Princes, the father of man-beasts, or Khajiits call him the Hungry Crab, Hircine. The Spear of the Hunt's past is never mentioned in the early stories of Nirn, and because of that, some scholars of Tamriel believe that Hircine wasn't one of the original Daedric princes, and is a spawn or offshoot similar to Malakath, another Daedric prince. But this is likely untrue due to the disease lycanthropy that existed well into the Merethic era. Hircine also visits Nirn every 1,000 years, but not to destroy like other princes, but to enjoy a great hunt known as the Blood Moon Prophecy. Now, let's talk about the Blood Moon Prophecy. The Blood Moon Prophecy is a legend made by the Skal, a native group from Solstheim. It speaks of the Hunt of Hircine, an event which happens every era when the prince enters Mundus and releases his hounds upon the land. The hunt is preceded by 4 signs. The first is the coming of the hounds, when werewolves appear on the island. The second is the fire from the Eye of Glass, a pillar of fire which appears on the surface of the frozen lake, Fjölding. The third is the Tide of Woe, a Horker massacre, the bodies of which then wash up all along the island's northern coast. The final sign is the namesake of the prophecy, the Blood Moon, when Secunda turns crimson from the blood of the hunter's prey. After the 4 signs is something called the Hunter's Game, which varies from era to era, where you have to hunt something, might be a whole tribe or just one man. The last hunt happened during the events of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. Let's get back to Hircine. Hircine is actually one of the most worshipped in Tamriel because most of his followers worship him even in death. Like werewolves, wereboars, werebears, werelions, and weirdest of all, werecrocodiles. A lot of people turn to lycanthropy to worship Hircine even in death, but the most known of them are the companions. They are cured now, but they turn to Hircine for power, not knowing they won't go to Sovngarde when they die. I have a whole video explaining the companions on my channel, so be sure to watch it. But not only do were-things worship Hircine, but so do the Reachmen, because it's a part of their lifestyle. And Hircine, well, he is the prince of the hunt, and Forsworn do hunt, and maybe they think Hircine will give them luck hunting, or they also want to die and be in the hunting grounds with Hircine himself. But what makes him different? Well, he is nor evil nor good. He is always neutral in human events. The people that worship him decide for themselves, and if they want to be werewolves, well, they just become werewolves. Or they just want to, well, when they die, to go to Hircine's hunting grounds and hunt. Hircine doesn't interfere with anyone's lives unless you are his prey, which I'm sorry to say, but you won't live to tell the tale. Hircine has 3 artifacts. Savior's Hide that grants you poison and magic resistance in Skyrim, which is useful against the Falmer. The Ring of Hircine that lets people transform into a werewolf whenever. And the Spear of the Hunter that paralyzes, poisons, and burdens the enemy on contact. Now, let's talk about what he did throughout the games and other sources. The earliest mention of him doing anything was in the Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall, where the hero of Daggerfall contacted Hircine through the Glenmoral Witches and won Hircine's ring for hunting a rogue wereboar. Then, in the events of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, the Nerevarine received one of his artifacts, the Spear of Bitter Mercy, as a reward for killing a giant bull Nech with the Fork of Horripilation. Although, in this case, the spear reward was from Sheogorath. It is more associated with Hircine. The Nerevarine also defeated and stopped Hircine to go to the mortal realm in Solstheim. Several years later, in the events of the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, Hircine requested the Hero of Kvatch, or the Champion of Cyrodiil, to hunt for a unicorn's horn, offering the savior's hide as a reward. 48 years after Oblivion, Prince Atrebus and Sol wanted to quickly travel to Vivec. Sol had made a trail that ended in Morrowind to escape from Oblivion when he was trapped in Umbriel. They had to use an inactive Oblivion gate to access such a trail. Turns out, they were sent to the hunting grounds of Hircine. Hircine and his beasts gave chase to those two. Sol knew where the exit to the hunting grounds were, so they mounted the Khajiits from Fashi clan to aid them in their survival. Hircine would not show up until after dark with a pack of werewolves. They eventually heard the sound of a horn, so they knew Hircine was approaching. They were only 50 yards from the portal, so Lespa, the chief of the Fashi clan, and the clan sacrificed to buy Sol and Atrebu some time. They died, of course, since who would win on a battle with a pack of werewolves and the Prince of the Hunt? Later on, in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, it is revealed that the Circle of the Companions are werewolves as a result of Terfig, a harbinger of the Companions, having made a deal with the Glenmoral witches for power in exchange for Hircine bringing them to his hunting grounds instead of Sovngarde upon death. The witches are slain by the last Dragonborn, who uses the head of one of them to posthumously cure Kodlak Whitemane, the latest harbinger of his lycanthropy, so that he can go to Sovngarde instead of the hunting grounds. After that, or before that, depending on what you do, a Nord werewolf named Sinding stole the Ring of Hircine in an attempt to control his transformations. However, this plan backfired when Hircine cursed the ring, causing Sinding to transform at random, killing a child and ending up in jail. Soon after, the Dragonborn met Sinding, who tasked the Dragonborn to take the ring and free it from its curse by hunting the white stag before escaping from jail. Hircine then requested that the Dragonborn hunt Sinding down and tear the skin from his body. After confronting Sinding a second time, the Dragonborn was left with the choice to kill him in order to receive Hircine favors and Savior's hide, or to kill the other hunters trying to get Hircine's favor and receive the uncursed ring. Whichever option the Dragonborn chose, Hircine will be pleased with the results. If the Dragonborn helps Sinding, Hircine says that the important thing is that a hunt took place, regardless of who was the hunter and who was the hunted. That actually shows the good side of him, that he really doesn't care if it's in his favor or not. He just cares that there's a hunt. So that's it for Hircine. Thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to enjoy more videos in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.